Zelensky reveals cause of counteroffensive failure. Insufficient support from Western allies. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky recently disclosed the reasons behind the failure of his military's much-anticipated counteroffensive against Russian forces. In an interview with CNN's Fareed Zakaria on Sunday, Zelensky pointed out that the delay and lackluster results were primarily due to the inadequacy of weapons and training provided by Kiev's Western supporters. Zelensky explained, "We had plans to commence the counteroffensive in the spring. However, we were unable to do so because we faced a shortage of munitions, armaments, and properly trained brigades to handle these weapons." He further elaborated that the decision to conduct training outside Ukraine also contributed to the delays. This delay allowed Russia to strengthen its positions by strategically mining the territories and constructing multiple lines of defense, consequently compelling the Ukrainian military to adopt a slower pace in their counteroffensive actions. Zelensky emphasized that protecting their personnel and equipment became a priority in this situation. During the Aspen Security Forum, Zelensky reiterated similar justifications, stating that the counteroffensive had been planned for the spring but was postponed due to a lack of ammunition and training. However, he expressed optimism that victory would be near once the military cleared the mines that Western slowness had permitted Russia to place. Despite Pentagon officials refraining from categorizing the counteroffensive as a failure, the U.S. declined to provide long-range ATACMS or F-16s to Ukraine. The U.S. cited constraints in time and resources to properly train Ukrainian personnel to operate and maintain these aircraft effectively in the conflict. Western media outlets have also acknowledged the lackluster performance of the counteroffensive. The New York Times reported that Ukraine's military lost 20% of its weaponry in the initial 2 weeks of the operation alone, a setback attributed to the insufficient support from Western backers. NATO, while pledging to support Ukraine's military efforts as long as necessary to defeat Russia, stopped short of extending an invitation for Kiev to join the alliance during its summit in Vilnius. Zelensky expressed frustration at this decision, calling it unprecedented and absurd. Ukraine has received substantial military aid from NATO members in the past 18 months, with the U.S. alone contributing $46.6 billion. However, Kiev's allies are now facing a critical shortage of ammunition, leading to public questioning in Western countries about the wisdom of engaging in an open-ended proxy war with a nuclear power. Ukrainian drone attack on Moscow, a case of international terrorism. In a concerning incident on Monday morning, Moscow faced an attempted drone attack from Ukraine, resulting in damage to several non-residential buildings. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman, Maria Zakharova, labeled this act as international terrorism. The attack, which involved 2 UAVs, was met with resistance as the Russian Defense Ministry successfully suppressed the drones using electronic warfare systems. Fragments of the UAVs were discovered not far from the Defense Ministry HQ, with one of the drones crashing into a business center in the southern part of the city, causing window damage. Fortunately, there were no reported casualties or significant destruction, although traffic in the affected areas was temporarily disrupted. Regrettably, this is not the first time such an incident has occurred. In the past, Kiev has attempted similar drone raids on Moscow and its suburbs. Just a few weeks ago, 4 drones were downed by air defenses in the southeastern districts of Moscow, and another UAV was neutralized by electronic warfare systems west of the capital. Furthermore, in early May, Ukraine launched a drone attack on the Kremlin residence of Russian President Vladimir Putin, which was also thwarted by electronic warfare systems. Moscow accused Kiev of staging an assassination attempt, but Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky denied any involvement. The situation remains tense and raises concerns over potential escalations in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The international community is closely monitoring the developments and hoping for a peaceful resolution to the ongoing tensions.